extremely urgent updates out of Chicago and Portland, where Donald Trump is stepping up. I'm not calling it immigration enforcement anymore, stepping up his Gestapo. There is so much happening. I need to provide the high-level summary, and I need your eyes on Chicago and on Portland. It is September 27th. I will be talking mostly about Chicago because that's where I'm based. There is a processing facility in Broadview, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago, that is being illegally used as a detention facility and has become a hot point of protest in the greater Chicago suburbs while Donald Trump enacts Operation Midway Blitz, where he is disappearing people off the streets, where ICE killed a man trying to abduct him and then made up a story about how he was directly driving his car into them and then never redacted it when it came out via surveillance footage and audio that was untrue, and where there has been extensive and escalating protest. On August 29th, I was arrested for civil disobedience outside of the Broadview facility for sitting in the street blocking a van. I was given a city-level ticket. I was arrested by city-level police, village-level police, and ticketed for disorderly conduct, which is a quasi-criminal offense. Turnout increased at Broadview, and police stopped arresting people because the numbers were too high and the village is small. So the following week, protesters successfully turned a car around by sitting peacefully blocking the entryway to this facility. The third week, ICE started violently moving protesters and shooting some pepper pellets at their feet when they were blocking vans because the police were no longer doing these arrests. Then they fired tear gas off a roof into a peaceful protester who was walking with a mobility aid. And so the following week, fourth week, there were way more ICE people on the ground. Tom Homan, I believe, was on the ground, and they escalated charges. They gave everyone a federal charge for assault of a federal officer. ICE was conducting these arrests and dragging people into the facility. In between the fourth and fifth weeks, they erected a fence that blocks the public road that the village has asked them to take down because it is against fire code. An autonomous zone was set up. There was a camp, and there was someone that was there at the autonomous zone who was confronting ICE agents because he had caught them drinking on duty. And 12 people jumped out of vans and grabbed him and dragged him into the facility, and he has not been released. On Friday, because of the fence, we were protesting at the end of the other exit, which is like a longer roadway, doing a Jericho walk in circles, walking back and forth in front of the roadway continuously, and an ICE agent drove their vehicle through the crowd of protesters, pushed them all in range of the ICE agents way at the end of the road, who began pepper pelleting them. And the protest moved closer to the fence because they had driven the protesters into it, trying to run them over. And ICE started firing chemical weapons into the crowd, including at musicians, at press. And then Donald Trump tweeted today on Truth Social that he was authorizing the use of full force, which is an irrelevant concept that does not exist, in military deployments to defend the Portland ICE facility, where very, very similar things have been happening anywhere else necessary. And then Pam Bondi went and posted a reel about how they were going to pursue like terrorism charges against anyone who was involved in protesting. So they drove all the peaceful protesters away, and national news is going to start covering it at the moment of the Reichstag fire.